met EVGA. They've got a few new things. Let's check out the X299 just to start. They've done something a little different. I'm going to go right over here to the dark. We're going to the dark side. Now, the dark, there's no crazy, RGB LEDs all over the place. And this one's really, really designed with overclockers in mind, people who want extreme performance. They've only gone with 4 DIMMs, but it does support quad channels, so you can use either chips, whatever you want in there. But they've gone with that because once you limit the DIMMs, the trace layouts, make it much easier to achieve higher speeds. It's just going to end up being a better situation for overclocking. Now they've used 10 phases, and they have 1 phase going to each side for the RAM right there. And then I really like this over here for cable management. See that angle? Look at that angle right there. That is lovely. So you'll be able to just basically plug in and bend your cable, or bend your cables and cords back. Same thing right over here on the side with USB 3. And we have 2 U.2 right here. So this thing's going to be loaded for speed. And there's an M.2 cooler. So if you want some extreme speeds, and as we get faster and faster, M.2, especially the Gen 3x4 stuff, you need cooling. So what they've done here is there's an M.2 that can go here, and another one that can go here, and you can raid those. Then this little blower right here is going to be moving air all around here, keeping things nice and cool. Really cool design there, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. I know some people are going to be yelling and screaming about like, I can only use so much RAM. But guys, you can still use 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it does support quad channel or dual channel. So pick either way you want to run it. They're also going to include this. This is a little sort of test bench. You can mount your motherboard right here. And moving over here, this one's probably going to be one of the big sellers. It has pretty much all the features. I just forgot to show you the back of the dark right here. Hard to see, but the back of the dark is really nice and snazzy, and no LEDs back here, just that's what you get. Also, these are Intel NICs. When you move over here to the FTWK, you're going to get the killer NIC and just some more of the features that you normally think to see on all the mainstream boards. You get the RGB here, you get extra DIMMs. You still have 2 U.2, M.2 here. You don't get the M.2 cooling. And overclocking is going to be good on this, but maybe not quite as good because they say the extra RAM slots actually make it a little bit more difficult. So there's that. Also over here, you can use this to disable PCI Express lanes on the dark. So that's those 2. But then they have one in one of my favorite form factors that we don't see as much anymore these days, and that is micro ATX. And there it is. Take a look at this board here. You guys can pretty much see what you have here. You're sacrificing 1 M.2. But you still have lots of things. 1 U.2 is still on here, so there you go. And then, of course, 3 PCI Express slots. Still has the same power phase design. This one's probably going to be a nice overclocker as well. It does have 4 DIMMs. Someone stole the Kingpin. Where did the Kingpin go? The Kingpin was right here a second ago. Yeah. Well, there's the SC2. There's the hybrid that'll be out soon. I'm not sure what the clock speed's going to be on that. I hear it's going to be gruesome. And there's the hydro copper back there in the back, if you want to get fancy with that. Also, if you want to do some personalization, I've got it here for the 2 ICX coolers, but they've got it for the FTW3 and also the SC2. You can go and grab, whatever shroud you want. Lovely. All right, I beat up a few people and put this thing back. There's the Kingpin. This has an enormous amount of copper. And I went with all copper here. And that's going to help to keep this as a dual slot card. And also I want you guys to notice these huge ventilation holes right here. Big holes actually help quite a bit. They can lower the temperature a few degrees. And I'll show you guys the back plate right here. There it is. There's that back plate. Pretty. Look at this tiny little Pascal card. Isn't that just cute? That's a GT 1030 right there. It's low profile. How about that? Oh, you're just precious. It's got dual link DVI and HDMI. That's all you get. And for everybody in London, HDMI. How about that for you? Yours will come with that. Americans will only get HDMI. Sorry, Americans. They always put the darkest cases in the darkest corners of the darkest rooms. Here it is. This is the GG75. It's a new case. And there's also the GG77. I'll show you that one because it's more assembled. But this one has glass, and metal. GG77 will give you glass right here. This is where the glass is removed. It gives you glass right here and also glass on the back. So lots and lots of glass right here. Let's take a look on the inside and see what they've done here. Large open cavern, which is what I like. Completely dark. And they're working on the software that will sync up the LED here that's going to cover up the power supply and all those ugly cords to the LED here on the GPU and also the LED on their water cooling unit. So there should be software to sync all those lights up. As you can see here, the GPU is prominently displayed. I mean, this is EVGA after all, so you got to show off your GPU. There's going to be a riser card that you can get for either one of these. As far as fans go, right here in the front, it's so dark, I'm not sure if you guys can see that. But right there in the front, you can fit 3 120s or 2 140s down here on the bottom. Now, you guys have seen EVGA's power supplies, right? Well, there's plenty of power supplies here. I recommend these a lot because they're a very good price-to-performance ratio. And then I saw this little guy. It's SFX-L, so it's SFX form factor, but it's a little bit longer, so as long as your case can hold it, this is going to be 750 watts. And there you see the honeycomb on the back there. And it is fully modular. Take a look at that. So that's pretty ridiculous. They're also ensuring me that they'll have plenty of stock on these. These are taped together, little prototypes and that sort of thing, but yeah, there you have it. That's pretty crazy, 750 and an SFX form factor. RGB fans, LED RAM sticks, RGB power supply, colors everywhere, light strips. That's not enough RGB. This is not enough RGB. How about right there as well? This is a ridiculous amount of RGB right here. So yep, right there on the side of all these fins, we've got more RGB. I believe we saw a prototype of this. This is the Flow Ring, F-L-O-E ring. This is an all-in-one water cooling unit. Right here on the side, let me show you this thing. So it's RGB, but one thing's cool about this, you got 3 fans right there, but they give you 2 extra ports so you can plug up maybe another fan or an LED strip or something like that. Just giving you added expandability. You can get it in this is the 360 right here, you can get it in a 240 or also a 280. Pretty much just trying to cover all the bases, and then of course, lots of colors here. Everything's controlled from the same software. I hope you guys like RGB, I really do. Like, I really hope that you guys like RGB. Got a couple of new cases, the View TG and the View 90 or 71 TG and the View 91 TG. I guess bigger because the volume's bigger on that one, but TG stands for tempered glass. And most of these you have to like unscrew, then pull the panel off. This one you unscrew and then. So there's a lot of room on the inside here. A lot of their stuff they've been doing lately has been extremely modular, mod friendly. You can see the back there, we have so many slotted places where you can mount things and screw things. The idea really is to just kind of leave it open and let you do whatever you want with it, right? I mean, that's what I would do, just do whatever I want. Also, the riser for the GPU, you're seeing that a lot these days. Plenty of places to mount, and they've also got the Thermaltake, fittings and everything everywhere. Thermaltake reservoir. So up on the top here, take a look at that. You pretty much fit anything you want in here as far as fans and water cooling. In the front as well. Tempered glass all over everything. Now let's take a look at the bigger one over here. Tempered glass View 91. Let's go ahead and open that up and take a look. Oh, there we go. Now we're in. You can put at least 45 reservoirs in here. This thing's huge. And we got a lot of room behind the tray. You may not be able to see it from here, but it looks like there's gonna be a lot of room behind the tray. Wide open, ready to be modded, ready to be messed with. This one does not have the tempered glass on the top, but there's still enough room here for huge stuff. That's what I'm saying, huge stuff. There you go, take a look at the front. They got a 360 in there right now, that big fat radiator. And then the back here. See, I told you there's a lot of room back here. Room for standard size hard drives, 2.5-inch drives, and you guys can get creative with this thing as well. It's a huge freaking case. Let me see if I could, don't have anything to show you for size comparison, but guys, that case is huge. Peter Brands and Tim Warning worked on this ridiculous, massive desk. 2 cases over here. And now they've modded these, they've ruined all the hard drive cages and stuff. They had to build this custom little area right here so that we can have uniformity on both sides. You've got 2 reservoirs in there filled with LEDs and stuff, so you can sync them up and change the color if you wanted to. Huge fans all over the back right here. They created a custom piece of metal for the back right there, and then they've got the glass mounted on top here. So the way they've done that over here is they've got the padding around here, and here's that piece of metal that they've created. It's like the piece that ties it all together, keeps it all from moving around. It basically allows us to have a desk here. So just all about uniformity, clean lines, but at the same time, still being crazy with the colors. And you could hook this up to, they had it the other day hooked up to a room, they were telling me, or in the room they were hooked up to the wall at the ASUS party and had this thing controlling half the room. LEDs blinking everywhere. New compression fittings and filter and stuff, so you don't have to cut your tube perfectly. You just You just put it in there and then it tightens down on top of it.
Yeah, tightens down.
Even if it's not a perfect cut, you're okay. No more worrying about measuring extra length. You just measure it right to that and then you're done. Tighten it down, you're good to go. Excellent.
You can buy a pack as well.
The whole pack?
Yeah, the whole pack.
All right, everybody out there doing custom cooling, there you go. All right, this is there's an ass fan in here. People in Florida need this. All right, if you get swamp ass while you're playing video games, this is where you want to sit. Well, that's quite pleasant. I can feel the rumbling too. Ladies, you'll love this. All right, there it is, RGB LED chair. Gonna load this. I thought they were joking when they said that. I just. All right, we're leaving.